And wait a minute. Am I here? I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can you hear me? Yes, shake her head. I can't hear you.
Hear me now?
Yep. You got it. Yep.
All right, let me,
Sorry, we can turn on the
so
no
let
problem.
me try.
That's fine. Not a problem. Okay, wait a minute. So how do you do? I have to do this first. I don't want to be on yet.
Oh, you want me to-
Mute.
Sure. Do you want me to turn off your
So wait,
video?
to do that, you just do what?
Tap on the screen, and if you look up here, this is your microphone.
Oh, come on.
We'll just get started in a few minutes. We'll just wait for Tim to log on. If anyone else
Yeah.
joins us.
What I'm trying to do is exit full screen. There we go. Put you up in the corner.
There you go. Tim, is that you on the cell phone that just joined us? Maybe. I hope so.
Maybe we got connecting. Somebody's still trying to connect.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we got you, Tim. Thanks.
All right. Now I'm going to try my mute. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Okay. How about now?
We still hear you.
Could you hear me before? Now? I said?
Yes.
Oh. So you can only mute using the *6, I guess? Not
I
the
don't
regular
know.
mute button?
I haven't done it on the
Weird.
phone for a while, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, usually I'd get like an echo or something, so I stay on mute, but I'll stay off mute and try to hold my tongue.
Okay. Yeah, I think Catherine
Oh.
just put in the chat. It might be *6.
It is *6, yes.
Okay. Thanks, Catherine. All right, we'll just give it another minute or two and see if Greg also joins us. So we'll get started just a few minutes after 5:30, just to give everybody enough time to log on if they're planning on joining us this evening.
Okay.
So we'll just wait another minute or two.
On. Not what I want. This is what I want. How are you doing there, young lady?
I'm doing good. How about you, Richard?
Oh, wish I was someplace else.
Yeah. I hear ya. I like your background though, Richard.
Yeah, it's the Privateer Hannah from
Very
the
nice.
Revolutionary War.
All right, we'll just give another minute. If Greg pops on or if anyone else joins us, then we'll move forward.
Yeah, I was going to put something like Franklin Square up, but I like boats better.
All right, I guess Greg's not going to join us, so I guess we might as well get started since it's 5:31 p.m. So we might as well get started here. So what I'll do first is just kind of do a regular introduction to the way the meeting will flow this evening. And I apologize to my commission members because they've heard this ad nauseum at this point, but nevertheless, I'm just going to go through my spiel. And at the end of my spiel, if there's any questions, no. Oh, here comes Greg. Speak of the devil. Timing. Hi, Greg. Good timing. I was just going to do my little introduction. Okay. So good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the regular September 16th meeting of the Historic District Commission. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Regan Miner, and I'm the acting chairperson here. Please note that our call is being recorded. Our meeting tonight will be broken up into two sections, the public hearing, which will be first, and then the regular meeting, which will be after. The public hearing is the opportunity for the applicants to present their applications to the commission and for the commission to ask the applicants any questions. Once the public hearing closes, the regular meeting will then begin. The regular meeting is where the commission discusses and votes on applications. Applicants can stay and listen to the regular meeting, but please note you won't be allowed to speak or comment further on your application. You can stay, but it's not required that you stay for the regular meeting. Applicants will receive written notification regarding the commission's decision by early tomorrow. So you'll know probably by tomorrow morning or early afternoon what the commission had decided. And that's all I have for my little spiel. So any questions so far? Okay, thank you all for being patient and attentive while we get moving here. So I'll open up the public hearing here at 5:33 p.m. And we'll start by going down on the order of applications that we have on the agenda for the public hearing. So first we have COA 434, 139 Union Street. Is there anyone on the call tonight who is going to speak on behalf of this application? I don't think I see any applicants here to discuss this application. I'll just ask one more time. Anyone here to speak on COA 434?
Back to us. I look forward to working with you both on this matter.
All right, so hearing none, I'll move forward on the agenda.
Okay, thanks.
Next up on the agenda, we have COA 435, 86 Town Street. And I believe we do have an applicant present to discuss the application. So welcome, Brian, to the meeting. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. And
Hi, everyone.
Take it away and kind of give us an overview of your application, and then we'll kind of do a dialogue back and forth between members of the commission if they have any questions.
Okay, so William Ravis is in the process of revamping their locations, quite a few of them. And in the process, they are changing their signage. Not drastically, they just lost their tagline and they're just using simply William Ravis. And that includes changing their freestanding and wall signs. They're allowed much more signage than they're asking for, quite a bit more, but they want to try and keep it reasonable and not go overboard. Typically, the type of signs that they install are individually illuminated channel letters that light from the face, and their monuments are illuminated as well. But here, given the location, and since I don't know where this building falls in relationship to, say, McDonald's or Stop and Shop or Dunkin' Donuts that are all illuminated as well, but we tried to tone it down a bit by using a reverse channel letter, which is what we've done in other historic districts, that kind of tone it down and just make a halo glow around the perimeter of the letter at night rather than having the whole face glow. And then on the monument sign, we've proposed to have an opaque background and have only the letters illuminate at night so that the whole background doesn't light, like Dunkin' Donuts down the street. So that's really it. So they've got one wall sign that they're asking for reverse channel letters, halo lit, and one monument to replace the monument they have. That's also internally lit, but with just the letters illuminating at night. I sent some photos today. I don't know if those got cycled around, but I did happen to take some. I did print it out. So this is a halo lit letter where there's a glow around the perimeter of the letter as opposed to the whole face lighting. And this is also reverse channel as well. And then these are routed face letters where the background is opaque and only the letters illuminate at night, and they push through to give some depth, about a half-inch projection from the face. So in terms of lumens, they actually put off, they don't put off a lot at all, compared to, say, a light that washes the whole wall, That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So at this time, I'll ask if any members of the commission have questions for the applicant.
So
ahead, Greg.
Brian, the current signage that's on the building, is that lit now?
It's externally lit.
Because I can't see any lighting on the photo that you said that was on the application. It doesn't look like there's any lighting at all. It looks like it's just a sign on the a solid wood sign on the building, and then just a.
I'm actually, I'm sorry. I'm referring to the monument. The monument had external lights. Whether or not they work now, I don't know. The building sign, I don't think has any lights on it unless there's something that washes the building from the far outside, but nothing close to it.
So the monument sign just has a spotlight, basically, that's shining on the monument sign.
Right. I'm not sure that it's functional right now, but I saw some evidence of lights there.
Okay. I mean, I haven't seen much lighting at night. I was kind of curious why they need the sign lit at night when they're not open at night.
Well, they don't have it lit all night. They typically will have it lit until, say, 10 or 11, unless there's some city ordinance that requires them to turn it off. I don't know what McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts and Stop and Shop do, but they certainly wouldn't propose to keep them lit any later than theirs.
Yeah, but those stores are open at night.
Right. But they
Yeah,
also
and
do it
Stop
to
and Shop and
advertise.
McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts don't fall within the local historic district either, so they don't have.
They don't. Oh.
No, so your
Oh,
property.
right. So William Ravis is like right on the line, huh?
Yes, it is right on the line, and
Wow.
in fact, that property was saved from demolition in the 70s, so that property is quite important to the district, and
Oh, good. Okay.
it's a really valuable property, so we're glad that it was saved from demolition in the 70s, so we're quite thrilled that it's still here in existence.
Are you familiar at all with the history of the building you're in?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
No.
I think Brian's the sign guy. I assume you're not the
Oh.
owner, Brian, is that correct?
No. I am a sign guy, the lowly sign guy.
Okay, there's a long history on that building. It was built around 1760, and it was once owned by the Lord family. So it's a historically very important building to our Norristown area.
Huh.
So we want to be very careful with what happens.
So you had mentioned the tagline. I'm looking at the older pictures. I'm not sure what the tagline you're referring to is. That it's the best website in the business, or?
No. It says mortgage, insurance, or real estate. Some of them have real estate. Some of them have mortgage, insurance, and real estate. And I think this one has a whole bunch of stuff underneath it on the wall sign. Yeah, my picture's a little small, but they've got a host or a pretty big tagline in the white area underneath their logo now.
So that's I don't have the current pictures. I have the pictures that came with the COA. I apologize. I'm not on for the video portion of this.
That's okay.
So on the wall, which again, unlit, it has a little scallop or a detail up on the top, but it's a Ravis.com sign, find your home, sold homes, market data, school reports, online home evaluation, but it's more touting Ravis.com on that sign.
Right.
And then looking at the monument, which agree there was a floodlights from below. I'm not sure if that's the tagline that's below that. William Ravis, and that one's harder to see.
Yeah, it should say real estate and mortgage and possibly insurance, depending on when it was made.
Yeah, gotcha. All right.
But that's all going away. They're doing away with the tagline and the Ravis.com and all that, the plethora of other information that's on the wall sign. It's just going to be William Ravis. That's it.
So the one that's on now the one that's on the building itself, the wall sign will not be Ravis.com. It'll just be a William Ravis square or rectangular.
Yeah.
The white space in the monument, I'm not sure, is that just blocking that, or is that their anticipated anything temporary or whatever? It's not like there's something that can go up on that. It's just a white space.
It's just, you're talking about the base that's underneath the blue area of the monument?
Correct. It looks solid, and it looks like.
Yeah, that's just a skirt. It's just a base. There's nothing that's going to be on that.
No lettering or anything on that, but it's solid. It's not see-through or anything along that line.
No.
Gotcha.
And what is the size of that monument compared to the current monument?
It's about the same width. It's in a planter that's about 88 inches wide, and the existing sign goes left to right, and this is going to be about the same. So it can't go any wider than that planter. I mean, it could if they took the planter away, but that's not the intent. The intent is to keep everything else intact.
Okay. I mean, it looks bigger in the pictures, but.
The old sign looks like it's held up by two side pillars, and the sign is suspended then. And the new sign looks like you're bringing it all the way down to the ground. Is that?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned that the new sign, that white space that Tim was referring to, will kind of block the view. And part of our rules and procedures that we follow are that the sign should relate to the building and not obscure its surroundings. So I'm a little concerned that that white part in the monument sign may prevent people from seeing. The benefit of the current sign, the current monument sign that's there is, you can kind of see through it, and there's gaps. So I'm a little concerned about that white space that we discussed a moment ago.
Could be used for putting verbiage in, like the Pleasantville sign.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't come through. What did you say, Richard?
I'm afraid, let me ask Brian, would the bottom part of the standalone sign be used for any verbiage or advertisement? You're showing
No.
white now.
No, it will not be used for any advertisement. It's just a base. But in terms of the visual aspect that you're concerned about, the existing sign might have a 2-foot to 30-inch by maybe 6-foot area that you're talking about in terms of obstructing the building from a distance. I don't think that's gonna cause an obstruction visually.
I'm also concerned about traffic coming in and out of that small parking lot that's right next to the building too. I'm concerned about obstruction there as well. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the property at all, or the site itself, Brian.
No, I've been there. When I pulled out, it didn't seem to me that where I was pulling in and out of was anywhere, it didn't cause a problem. I looked at it and think it would cause a problem for traffic flow because you're beyond it. It's set back quite a bit. However, if there's certain Safeway distance triangles that this town observes, from any particular points, we can certainly look at that. But it seemed like you'd be beyond it in any particular moment.
Do you happen to know what the material of the signs are, Brian, by any chance?
I do. They are made. Everything that we construct for them is all out of aluminum.
Okay.
Is that aluminum?
Aluminum, yeah.
Because the notes under the sign there talks about steel column welded to steel.
That's an internal component. The aluminums, the signs are aluminum. The structural column that holds it to the ground and inside of the concrete foundation is steel, but you don't see it. You don't see that. And that's really just for wind load support, because aluminum, you could use aluminum if you use multiple poles and really put a thick wall on it, but steel is a lot stronger.
So what do you put between the steel and the aluminum to avoid corrosion problems?
There's a paint layer between the two. So wherever steel is in contact with aluminum, to avoid a galvanic reaction, we use either a neoprene or a paint finish.
So Brian, go ahead, Tim, sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
So width-wise, I think we're saying it's about the same because it's in that, the planter area. It's probably a little bit thicker. We don't have the old dimensions, but this one is 12 inches thick. And the height of it, comparable to the height of the previous one or higher? That's yours, the new one.
I think the new one is a little bit here. I think hang on, I think I have the dimensions of the old one. Hold
50
on.
inch high on the new one.
Okay,
It's 5 feet. Let me see if I have. Oh yeah, the existing one is 6 feet tall. This one is 5 feet tall.
Is lower. And again,
It's a little lower.
tell me on the monument, what's illuminated on that one? It's not a spotlight here. The illumination is from internal glowing on that?
Yeah, it would be internal, but only the letters illuminate at night. The background does not.
Nothing on, it's not like it'll be glowing down into the white or behind that. You're just going to see William Ravis.
No. That's it.
William Ravis lit up. Okay.
Right. They have options where the whole background lights, but we're trying to do what we can to minimize, illumination and try not to make it look so commercial.
And again, the lighting on the wall it's from behind, so that one's the one that's glowing out.
Right.
From the.
So the wall would be like this, the halo, where it halos around the letter.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That one on the wall looks like it's a bit bigger than the existing sign.
It is a bit bigger than the existing. It's wider, left to right, not taller. It's actually shorter than the existing one, but it's wider left to right. Yes, because the name, when it's not stacked, it's longer than what's there.
Right. I mean, visually, it looks much more obtrusive to me than the other sign because the font is so large.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the existing sign is not lit from behind, or if it has any lighting at all, it would be just from ground flood light.
Say that. Is that a question for me? I'm sorry.
The existing sign on the building is
Yes.
not backlit whatsoever currently.
That is correct.
It's lit now, it is lit by a floodlight from the ground.
If it is, yeah. I haven't seen it at night.
Okay, is your proposal then that the new sign would be lit from behind in some manner?
Yes.
Okay.
Richard, we lost your video, by the way. I don't know if you did that on
That's all right.
purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Then grabbing a Google of that now printing the side of the building with a small sign, and it's like I thought, it's a colonial appearing pillars. Oh geez, I'm running out of ink. So I apologize for the color. Let's see if I can get this to work.
You got to turn off your background, I think, Richard.
Yeah. How do you do that without going crazy? At any rate, the I'm sorry, I'm having trouble getting rid of my background.
That's okay.
But if you can go to Google and look and just look at it, when McDonald's took all the bushes down, that sign became very apparent. Before that, it was kind of hidden by all the bushes that surrounded McDonald's. The sign is held up by two colonial appearing pillars and is a very tasteful looking sign, with the sign being 1/3 or less of the total height of the pillars, and the sign being at the top.
Mm.
It is appropriate to the area, the existing sign. It is not modern looking, it is not garish whatsoever. The signage on the front of the building, while being lit from a floodlight possibly, is not backlit, and I think a backlit sign there would be, again, something very garish, and as we're currently fighting the fights we fight, we gotta take what we can get.
Are you
Go ahead.
are you reading from a previous? We're going to be discussing this after, I guess. But is this a previous application when it first came up, or what are you reading?
I think Richard's
I'm,
just describing it.
Describing the physical
Gotcha.
building as it exists
Gotcha.
from pictures.
Mhm.
I pulled up on half my screen. I pulled up the Google Maps. And,
Is it different from what was in the COA, though? I guess is what I'm thinking.
well, let me get around to the front of the building. No. Gotta go back that way. No, I should get ready to have a look at the front, except for the telephone pole. No, the signage as presented as the original signage as existing is what is shown on the Google map. And it just says bravest.com, and then there's the tagline, which I can, there we go. The best website in real estate, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't, the sign width does not extend past the second story or first story windows. It falls within the outline of the windows.
And you're talking about the height,
I'm talking about the width,
left to right?
left to right.
The width is, it does go beyond the shutters a little bit,
And I guess it's on, no one's mentioned.
but it doesn't
This is
have
what I'm
to.
looking at.
What?
You said anything, they usually do.
Um,
But I
are you
think, yeah,
talking
right, 'cause it's
about,
and
uh,
so it's
Talking
also
about
the
the
red
new
line.
sign. Are you talking about the old sign?
I'm talking about the old sign. This
Oh, okay.
existing sign is in the Ravis blue and white, outlined, has
Yeah.
an arched top to it. The
Yeah.
arched top and the width fit within the boundaries of the windows.
Yes, I'm looking at it now. Yep.
And I gotta figure out how to get back to your new sign. This way. No, not that way. Excuse me, folks, while I become totally confused by my computer. There we go. There we are. And the new sign, the old sign, yeah, you can see that from there. And the new sign extends well past the windows. It's much larger, and it has just William Ravis on it. And you said the William Ravis is
you like
going
that
to be
better?
backlit by some nature. In some manner, right?
That's fine. Either one is fine. The other one I like better, actually. But
Oh, then we can change it.
Nancy, do you have any questions?
no, I've been listening to all of your questions, and I kind of shared the inquiry. No other questions, though. Thank you, Reagan.
Okay, just wanted to double check.
No, I'm kind of quiet over here, huh?
I don't
No,
have
that's
any,
okay.
I don't have any more questions for Brian either. I'm sure we can
And-
have discussion later, but I have no more questions.
Right,
Well,
same here.
since I'm unable to comment after this, I'll just say a couple of closing things. I think the most important thing to them is some sort of illumination with some facet of their logo. If the size of the wall sign is an issue, we can bring it so that it doesn't go beyond, say, the shutters, which would take another 18 inches off of it or so. That would kind of square things up a little bit. And the monument, they do have an option that we put together in our original design package that has two poles, and it's squared at the top. It has a top detail and a bottom detail, and the sign sits between two posts, and it's open on the bottom. It's theirs. They call it their quote unquote secondary option. So I usually don't throw that out there until I get opposition on their primary monument. But since I can't really comment after, I'm going to just throw it out there now. They do have that as a secondary option. In same situation, only the letters would illuminate at night.
And
But that's an option as well. We could present that.
So I guess I'm going to ask, it's, as far as they want the lighting on both signs, or is that also a thing here? Because obviously the wall sign currently is not lit, but the other one I would agree there was some sort of lighting, whether it's working correctly now or not. They're looking to have both of them lit. That's their desire. Main desire is the illumination also, or is there a
They
they didn't weigh in on, hey, at least the monument is priority illumination and the wall is a secondary or a bonus or anything like that. There's no other.
Well, they certainly would like them both illuminated. I don't know where they're trying to be accommodating by using reverse channel letters as opposed to those typical letters that glow at night. I don't know where the code falls in this. I don't know whether they're allowed to have illuminated signs or not. And this is just this type of review is more like a compromise as to what type of lighting everybody can live with, or if they're not allowed to have lighting on signs in the code. That's not clear to me. Whether or not it's just a preference or if it's a code. I don't know that yet,
Right.
but maybe you guys can clear that up for me. But they're trying to be accommodating and not have their normal lighting, which is a little on the commercial side, and have a halo lit letter and only the letters illuminated on the monument. And yes, they would like to have those two things. We could make the sign on the wall a bit smaller so it doesn't extend beyond the shutters. We could present the two-pole design. I don't think they would be opposed to that if they were able to keep the illumination on the monument. But if no one has a problem with their primary option with the base, then I would say they would want that because that's their primary request.
Right.
But that's their intent, and they're trying to calm the lighting down because of where the building is and trying to be, good neighbors sort of thing,
Right.
We run into this a lot. A lot of their buildings are in historical areas. This is a common, and usually the reason that we just went to this and without coming to you and say, hey, we want front lit letters and a backlit sign and everything, because when we fall into an area that's of a historic nature, we just know to go in with a toned down version. And that's what this is. So that's it. That's my elevator pitch. You got it.
All right. I'll give but one last comment. The shape, obviously the rectangular shape versus the current more period type shape of the sign that you see on the monument and certainly up on the wall also, and throughout that the green, I believe you see similar shapes. But in this case here, they've gone to a branding of as you're presenting it here, it seems more rectangular and the lettering.
Yeah. The arch is a non-starter for them. They're trying to lose the arch. They don't have the arch anywhere
Gotcha.
anymore.
Gotcha.
But usually I've never heard, anywhere else that hasn't been a pushback in historical areas, only because, rectangular signs were certainly produced, then.
Right. I agree. Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's now, I've never heard that as a pushback, but yeah, they're trying to lose the arch.
Gotcha.
The other
Thank
question
you.
I have, Brian, is do you think they would be open to different signage material?
Well, so it gets a little tricky with material when you talk about internally illuminated signs. For instance, reverse channel letters, your only options really to make a hollow channel are stainless steel, aluminum. Those are really your only two options. And on a monument sign, any kind of wood or anything like that, if you try to route the face, wood is too thick to allow for the letters to illuminate at night. So it has to be a thinner material, which is typically an aluminum in that case. So, but once you paint it, from a distance, whether you have painted wood or painted aluminum, if you get right up on it, you're going to see some essence of grain, but you'd have to really inspect it to see it from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we don't really, we got pushback on that once, and it was in Nantucket. Had to be wood. And the funny thing is, after we put it up, couldn't tell it was wood. Once it was painted, it didn't matter.
Yeah, we've typically approved wood signs in the past in the district. I don't think there's not many signs in the district as it is, because mostly our local historic district is residential in nature. There's only a few commercial businesses and spaces available to the public in our district, and those have signage that appear what is already existing at your property. There's only a handful that I can think of that we do have, and they're very similar in style that already exist at the property. So so I just wanted to ask about the material, because most of the material in the district is wood.
Right. Well, and I understand where you're coming from. That's what was available then. understand the idea of keeping things of that era. The problem is that it doesn't last as long, rots. It doesn't give you as many options to fabricate. So it's just not something typically used in our industry much anymore with the introduction of composites. But anyway, like I said, once you paint it, you don't really know the difference. Case in point was Nantucket. We made it out of wood because that was the request, but once you paint it, you can't tell what it is. So could have been anything.
So option B on the monument is also aluminum and stainless steel. Okay?
Yes. Yeah. Option B is still aluminum. Yeah. Everything's made out of aluminum, only for the longevity of it.
Right.
Yeah. And also, to make a hollow illuminated sign in general, just because of the flammability.
The other question I have is, as Richard mentioned earlier, the building dates back to 1760. So how are you planning on fixing the wall sign on the building? Because any item that's fixed on the building, we need to make sure that the clapboards are not impacted negatively, or any of the historic nature of the building isn't negatively impacted by an installation like that.
Well, it's mounted likely in the same way that the sign is mounted now. It's got an internal bracket that's lag bolted to the building,
Okay.
and then the wireway is like there's a frame, and then the blue background is only about 2 inches thick. And when you think about materials, that's another reason why you can't really tell what it is, because it's only about 2 inches thick, which is about how thick you would find, a large piece of wood that would be made into a sign of that size. So ultimately, it's only about 2 inches deep, and then that blue portion shoeboxes over it and covers it completely. And all of the wiring is hidden inside of that wireway, and the letters are mounted to the face. So this frame is lag bolted to the building, and then the shoebox uses screws around the perimeter, and then the letters are mounted to the face of the blue. So and the existing sign there has aluminum brackets that are bolted to the wall, and the sign, it's actually, the brackets, you don't see them, they're behind the sign, but they shoebox over the frame on the wall.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are there any further questions for the applicant?
The pillars that if you're going to suspend the monument sign, what will the pillars be? Just regular pipe going up, or decorative, or what?
You mean in the version that has 2 poles versus the version we're proposing?
The version with 2 poles.
The one with 2 poles, yeah, it's very similar to what's there now. You have a larger portion towards the bottom, you have a rectangular trim, and then you have a slightly smaller square pole that extends up further into additional trim that wraps around the top and the bottom of the sign. So it's very similar to what's there now, where the poles extend up towards the sign, and there's a piece of trim towards the bottom and a larger pole that goes to the ground. So it's similar to what you have now. It just doesn't have the arch, and the trim is a bit more rectangular, but it's trim.
This is a rhetorical question, but why are they against the arch?
I can't answer that because I didn't come up with the idea. I think it's just the image that they that their logo people came up with. I don't know why. I don't know why anybody hasn't, I don't think anyone has a hatred of the art shape, in general. I just think that, that they just don't prefer it any longer. And they're looking for a slightly different image, but they still wanted the blue and white contrast, but they wanted to have a slightly different image. And having a rectangle just allowed them to change enough while still keeping their brand colors.
Okay. Thank you.
As far as the, and
No problem.
I know it wasn't what you were presenting here, but option B, is that available electronically that we could look at other than, I know you've described it as very similar, and if we get into a next section session when you are not being
You
able
mean
to
something
speak.
to see like tonight, or something that we could email to you?
I was thinking if you had it available real quick, that it was be sent out, but maybe I'm misspeaking here. Just to email it to share real quick, but I don't know what's available. I don't want to put you on the spot.
I might be able to rustle something up if you give me a few minutes. I'm gonna, my internet connection is, I'm not connected to my extender, but I'm gonna try it now. So if I get disconnected, I'll log back in. Hey.
And
Okay. All right. I'm still here. I made it. Okay.
Good.
So I can, I can try and,
What you could do, Brian, is if it's possible, you could always put the document in the chat box, and then although Tim, you're on your cell phone. I don't know if you're next to a computer or not, Tim.
I am, it's my work computer, so I don't like using that for
Yeah.
HTC stuff here. So at any rate.
how do I can attach a file, it looks like. Okay.
Yeah, I believe you can. I haven't done it in a while, but I'm assuming that should be an option.
All right. Let me, can you give me a couple of minutes, or
Absolutely.
I have to,
And Catherine can email it to you,
all right,
Tim.
hang
Thank
on
you,
one
Catherine.
second. Let me,
Tim, Catherine will email it to you when it comes through.
And sounds good.
Sounds good. All right. So
The next one is we wait on that. If you want to put anything.
yeah, I don't believe we have an applicant here for COA 436 20 Harlan Road. I'll ask again to give Brian a moment if there's anyone here speaking on behalf of COA 436 20 Harlan Road. So I don't believe so. So that's okay, but take your time, Brian. We're not trying to rush you by any means. Just
oh, no problem. Can you still hear me okay?
yeah, we got
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just logging on I'm at home, so I'm logging on to my computer at work, and just trying to pull up the original design package, which will have an example.
Sounds like a plan.
Actually, you know what? I can, well, that's probably not the right. Let's see. I was back in 2017. See how good my memory is here. Not great, apparently.
It's okay.
I think I may have it here.
Cool.
Let's get it open. Okay.
My first thought was that we want to take down the whole side as possible. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't want, he doesn't have to have it, but I didn't want to. That hurt, yeah. Just out of all right, well, that being said, all right, let me finish up.
Or is it Richard?
What's that, Tim?
I was just joking. Isn't this the point where you entertain us with a musical interlude?
Oh,
Oh,
I know. I should have put on a tune or something.
I apologize for opening this up or whatever you may want to look at the delay.
Yeah,
All
thanks
right.
a lot,
Just,
Tim. You're delaying my dinner time.
Hey, don't feel bad. It's delaying mine too. Let's see.
I have a mental image of what it is. I just thought it would be
No,
nice.
that's
to see
okay.
it.
If I can get it for you, I want to do it, and I've got it. I'm just have to attach the file here. I had to get it from my computer at work through remote desktop, and then get it over to my home computer. So it took a little bit. All right, I think it's coming. It's in the chat area, so it's uploading now.
Cool.
And what you're going to see is you're going to see both options. You're going to see the primary option and then this one being a secondary. And it's generic in size, so it's going to look wider than it would, because proportionally this one's a little stumpier left to right.
All right. Came up for me. Did it come up for
But,
everybody else?
I just got to open, download into the desktop.
I think it's just taking a minute.
Did
to
you get
download.
it, Kevin?
Comes in PDF.
Yeah, mine's downloading.
I've got it, Reagan.
Okay. Mine's just taking a few seconds.
And can someone then email that
Yeah, Catherine's emailing it to you, Tim.
Comcast?
Yeah, mine's still downloading. I think my internet's slow.
Oh, there it is.
Must be in the historic district.
No, they can hear us. So everything's on okay, but this gentleman who's an applicant has just retrieved more. How do I get it? How do I get it? Does it show up? I guess he does.
A PDF and you can hit download. And Tim, I also sent it to you, so it should be in your email.
All right. I don't have an assistant. What's,
Me either. I'm a little jealous now.
What does it say over that dot numbers are? Chat. Just put that. Sure.
Hey,
Chat.
Catherine, could you email it to
Okay,
me
so-
too? Because my
so-
internet is having trouble and I don't want to lose the Zoom call. I think I might have just lost it momentarily because I had too much going on.
Now, how do I get it from chat?
Yeah,
But where
and
do
I'll
I
send it
get
to
it
Nancy
from
too,
chat?
just in case.
Okay, so you're gonna get it from the email then? That'd be easier. So now how do I get out of this?
I
Just
already-
do that same thing up here? Go back out of it, right? Up here?
I would think that you
All
would
right, I
just
just hit send.
close.
Thank you,
And now
Catherine.
we get rid of, and then I'm back. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
I have it. Do I win?
Okay, so who does everyone have the document now?
This sounds like
You
you do.
Yeah,
I
I've
do.
been looking at it.
Okay, good. I guess I seem to be having internet trouble, so.
No, she's printing it now. Okay.
Need to learn how to put that kind of stuff in the chat. You get all the pictures and that. You can't do much with it.
Okay, so
Of
I am
the,
now finally looking at the document. Thanks for sending that, Catherine.
The monuments, of the monument type sign, oops. Yeah. Brian, of the monument signs here, this is doing.
What do you mean? I'm on my phone.
I mean, is this, is all the signage for all the offices changing, and this would be the outlier if it was option B from all of the other offices, I guess.
Yeah, I think they did option B once, Duxbury, Massachusetts. So
Thank you.
this would be the second.
This is the new one? And that's all it is?
Nancy, do you have it?
I'm looking at the
Yeah, leave it up.
kind of big piece of
You
it.
do, it's one sheet?
Yeah.
And
So it
that's
looks
the
like the top
standing one, or
version.
what is that?
So it looks like the top version is what the applicant's proposing, but then the bottom one is option B, the one with the
Right.
poles.
That is correct.
Thanks,
So
Brian.
then it would not be blocked on the bottom. It would not be opaque. It'd be open.
That's correct. That's right. It's basically the same thing. It's just the poles are on the side and it's not open. It forces the text to be a little bit smaller, because it's between two poles as opposed to having just that extra foot of width. It's probably why it's a secondary option.
Looks like it's thinner also in the overall. I know the top one, full block is 12 inches deep, yeah.
Yeah, it was 12. Yeah, it was 12 inch. The standard double face box, illuminated box is 12 inch. I think they have one that's a 10. The depth wasn't called out on these at that time. This was very kind of preliminary, I guess. These designs, but it would be close to the same width as the one above, only because there's only so many extrusions, widths that are available.
Yeah. Okay.
It would be the
Still
narrowest.
want
that we
lighting
can
of
get.
some kind too?
Yeah, that would still be internally lit. It would be this exact same thing, just without the poles just with the poles on the side and without the solid base.
So that looks a little bit more like what is there now. A little.
Correct. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And this one would be the same. Those are two are the same height,
These are
which you
totally different. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
there it's the whether it's the two poles or the full monument. They're both the same
That's
height,
correct.
correct? And we agreed that they were only 5 foot high, where the existing one right now is a
Yeah,
little bit
well,
higher.
in this case, we probably want to make it the same height as the existing one. The reason I shortened it a little bit is because the solid base looked a little bit too much when it was 6 feet tall. But with
Yeah.
they still want the height, but we don't want it to be too obtrusive either. When you have it 6 feet tall, that extra foot of base to me made a difference. So I shortened it a foot. In this case, we probably elevated up a little higher to back
And
to
that would, right, and the detail on the trim along the bottom then would probably stay at the same height, and it would be similar to the existing pole, the existing 2 poles.
Yeah. We would just
Yeah,
elevate the
okay.
top portion. That's right.
Yeah, okay, good.
And also you turn the sign around, right?
No, it's still perpendicular to the road, same as the existing.
Oh, it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, does anybody have our rules?
Are we done with questions for Brian?
Does anybody have a copy of the rules we play by? Because signing.
Reagan, I can't hear you. Reagan, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Yeah. I'm looking for right now.
Still no audio, Reagan.
The rules and procedures that we have to follow, and because I know there's a fairly good couple of paragraphs at minimum on signs as set forth by the state.
Right.
You remember that, Regan?
I'm not sure if Reagan's not coming through
Can you audio?
audibly.
Regan? Yeah.
Your
Is
audio.
the mouth moving?
No, still nothing, Reagan.
Can't hear anything.
Hmm.
COVID's got her microphone.
Still nothing, Reagan.
Are you using an external microphone on yours, Reagan? Sometimes on mine, I have to unplug it and replug it back in.
Says, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. So where'd you go, Reagan? You disappeared on us.
So Reagan is going to have to just type
I don't
everything she wants
I
to
don't-
say.
Thank you.
Oh, Lordy.
You're in somewhere.
We have to log out and log back in.
Stable and cut out on. Well, I guess the question was, do we have any more questions for the applicant? Wasn't that it? Hi,
That-
Reagan.
That was my
Reagan
question.
Reagan was asking something. She was talking quite a bit. I saw her talking, and it could have been
Oh, okay.
me, but I couldn't hear a thing, so I didn't know.
Oh,
I don't know if it was.
okay.
Oh, Regan
Okay.
Minor.
You want to switch to phone audio, Regan?
Hello?
Reagan, maybe go on to phone.
Reagan, if you have a question for me, I can give you my cell number if you want to call me. And at least I can hear you.
I think we'll end up being lost without her though as we continue forth. So
Oh,
it might be easier if she just logs out and logs back in.
maybe.
She's not the
Is she
presenter or
off?
anything.
Shuts the whole thing down.
No.
She closes the meeting if she does it.
But she opened it up, not Catherine? Okay.
Okay, does anybody have the rules and regulations that we